Hi guys, it's Tuesday again and thank you for joining me. I am making a layout for the Crafty Maven Getaway, and originally this was going to be a Technique It video, but it kind of turned into a Stash It video, so it can be either one, I guess. I did both. I did a very, very messy watercolor. You're going to see me get really heavy handed with mixed media and use a few different products for that. But you're also going to see me dig into some of my older stash and use it as well. So this is pretty heavy handed with embellishments and with watercolors. The background was prepped with some clear gesso, and this is just some white cardstock from Close to My Heart. And then I decided to pull out my acrytones that are a Shimmers product, and it's really, really dark, so I wanted to lighten it up a little bit, but I did want some dark splatters. So I kept a few of the dark splatters and then lightened up with a bunch of water with the paintbrush that you see there. I'm also going to pull in some other Shimmers and Lindsay Stamp Gang products. I'm going to use this Pop Art Pink and start to build up some layers of color. And I had a lot of faith in this paper. I add a lot of water to this background and it held up for me. So gesso is the key, that's for sure, because I am going to town on some product. So Pop Art Pink, Pretty in Pink is what I'm adding, I believe, right now in order to do some more splatters. Or maybe that's still Pop Art Pink. But I do bring in Pretty in Pink. I'm also, the acrytones was called Pinkadelic, in case you're wondering. But I didn't want it to all be pink because I'm going to add some florals that are from Maggie Holmes, I believe. Yeah, there's some Maggie Holmes. There's some Paige Evans. There's some Vicki Boutin. There's just all sorts of fun stuff that go on this layout. You're going to see me get really into this. So this is a green color that is fairly old in my stash. I don't know if Lindsay Stamp Gang even sells it anymore. But as you can see, I really poured way too much. And so I kind of just went with it since the background was already like dry, completely dry. It did not turn to mud, so I was happy about that. But that green is going to have to be mopped up just a little bit. I couldn't get the sprayer to work, and I was being just impatient and poured it directly out. And it's so liquidy that it made this huge mess. But that's okay. The photo's going to cover up most of it. I'm okay with that. The whole point of this was to get messy and to dig into my stash, and I did accomplish that. And most of that green is going to just barely show. This is a photo of my youngest daughter from 2008. I had gone through some of my older photos and found this one. She was playing soccer and just taking a little break. You can see how flushed her cheeks are. She's all grown up now, but yeah, she was so cute. She tried every sport there was, including, volleyball, tennis, Girl Scouts, if you call that a sport, piano, science club, chess club. I mean, that girl tried everything. Horseback riding, cheerleading. She never was happy with just one thing. She always wanted to have multiple things going on, and it was tough, I must say, getting her to all these places, buying her all of these things, trying to figure out what she would stick with. And she's just kind of a free spirit and never really stuck with anything long term other than cheerleading. And now she is a mother, so it's kind of odd to look back at these photos and see my little girl and know that she's in the very next room with my grandchild. That's pretty surreal. She is a young mother, which was not really in the plans, but life has a way of planning itself, and she has a mind of her own, so that was her choice. And, you just kind of roll with the punches. You just got to do what you got to do. So here I am adding some labels, and I'm trying to remember where everything is from. I've got some die cut frames from Vicky Booten I'm going to bring in. I believe those labels are from Maggie Holmes. I know the flowers are from Maggie Holmes. I love those flowers. And I do add a ton onto the layout. So you're seeing me dig into my little stash there. Even the acetate ones are just beautiful. And I want to say, yeah, I do build a little cluster down at the bottom. I had fussy cut out that little bird from one of the older Maggie Holmes papers that goes with this ephemera and all these lovely florals. And ironically, I don't add any thread behind any of this. I was just so in love with all of the embellishments that I just kept sticking those down. This little globe that I cut out on the center right that says Young, Wild, and Free was fussy cut out from some Paige Evans paper. And I even dig into some old Sweet Kawaii Design sticker sheets that I haven't used in forever and ever. And if you look right just to the left of my hand, there's a really old sticker sheet of a baby collection called Baby Steps from Simple Stories. I think I even managed to add a flower, like that little yellow flower there on the bottom right, and possibly a couple of other stickers. I am gluing everything down because things don't like to stick to gesso. I'm going to just move that label down just a little bit. I thought there was too many labels that were kind of all going across the page at the same level, and I wanted them to look like they were separate. I'm even going to grab some punches here, and I'm going to punch out some edges of some scrap paper and add it just above the label to the right. Still digging into some of those stickers from the Baby Steps. Now, you would never think this was a baby picture, right? But you never know what you can find and what you can use on a layout. Even though it's called Baby Steps, it worked out perfectly for the little flower additions on this page. And I guess those labels must have been from Vicky Booten, now that I'm looking at it. This little bit of washi was from my stash, and it's just a soft yellow with some little pink stripes. And I'm going to finish up here with some of these, they're like acrylic. They're not acrylic. I'm trying to think of the word. And I didn't write them down. But they're hearts, basically. And I want to say those are Maggie Holmes as well. They're just dimensional hearts. They look like glass, but they're so pretty, and I love hearts. So here's where I'm digging into some of my punches, trying to figure out where I want to add some leaves and some butterflies. I use some Martha Stewart punches for some butterflies. And also that little paper there that was from the Maggie Holmes collection. I'm just going to punch out some little leaves in a soft pink, almost a cream color. So even though I went so heavy-handed on this particular layout, it seems like once I'm on a roll like this, it just kind of flows together very quickly. So it didn't take me that long. You would think it would, but no, it didn't. And I got to use up stash, and I got to play with watercolors, so it was perfect. I even got to play with punches, and I don't seem to do that often enough. And if you watch my last video, I got to play with stamps, which I don't do often enough, so. I will be sharing a couple of hauls. One is for the scrapbookingstore.com for the October kit. I'll have that on October 1st. And also I bought a baby collection for my grandbaby Ella. And I've made a layout about her with it already. So I'm going to share that with you very soon. So stay tuned for that. And I like that little Rolodex punch. You can't even tell it's a little Rolodex once it gets tucked in and some flowers get put around it. It just looks like an extra little tab of color. I trim everything off so it's nice and even, and I believe that finishes. Oh no, I do have this Saturday Morning Basic Gray enamel dots, if you remember that collection. That was probably 10 years ago. I just can't seem to stop. I was really having a good time with this one. And sometimes I like to just get really messy, and sometimes I like to have very clean, linear designs, but yeah. This one, very heavy-handed. I should have one final layout for you for scrapbookingstore.com from their September kit. I should get that uploaded sometime this week. So watch for that video. And then I do have something else coming up. I'm trying to remember what the date is on it, but I may mention it at the next video. This is that Sweet Kawaii Design weekly sticker kit. So it's meant for a planner, but I found this little label that says goals and this one that says Saturday. And I thought it was time to use those up, so I'm glad I got to use some on this layout. So that is the finished layout for you. I hope you enjoyed this. Go over to the Crafty Maven Getaway and check out their blog and their Facebook group. It's a great bunch of girls over there. I am going to have another video for them very soon, probably next week. I haven't figured out my schedule for next week per se when it comes to the Crafty Maven. But anyway, I will talk to you later. Ta-ta for now. Bye.